That's my internet speed. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Conversations with the Love Crusader. This is a show where we talk about love, we talk about life, we talk about relationship. We try to have fun while we do so. If you're coming across the platform for the first time, it's a platform where you can learn about love, where you can learn about ways to better your relationships, all types of relationships, father, mother, brother, sister, and all. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for staying with us and welcome again. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Subscribe, share, tell your friends about this page. You could be helping someone's relationship by doing so. So you know that we have now reduced our time. We're staying 30 minutes only, and that means that we have to get onto the business of the day as quickly as is possible so we can get you the knowledge and the learning for the day. All right, so today we're talking about faulty foundations. We started last week talking about faulty foundations. If you missed last week's edition, I want to encourage you to please and please and please go back and watch. We laid the foundation. We talked about the things that would be how and why a foundation can be faulty, and how it affects your relationship if you've started on a faulty note. What we're talking about today is how we can make it better. Because as you know, Conversations with the Lord Crusader is powered by Men Fences. And Men Fences believe in mending relationships. So we're going to talk about how we can repair faulty relationships. We're going to talk about how we can make it better for you and for me. And I'm here today with another one of my wonderful co-hosts, Ruth Haruna.
Hi, Coach. Good to see you, Love Crusader. Good to hang out with you again. It's always fun to be here with you.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, by the way, you called me coach like you knew. Last week I just got my coaching certification. So I
You
am
have
now
always
a
been my
coach.
coach.
I was doing it by the way before. Now we can put a certificate to it. I am now a certified coach.
Congratulations. That's
Anyway,
so lovely.
thanks, my darling. Thanks, my darling. Let's get into it. So at the end of the show last week, someone posted one of the things that she thought was uh, um, the things that cause faulty foundations. And it struck me as very important, something we need to talk about. So we'll talk about it briefly before we go into solutions this evening. Falsehood and lies. Why do people start love relationships on lies?
Yeah, that's a very big question. And honestly, I think there's a lot of pressure, to impress the person both ways. The man would want to be the best version of himself, even if he has not really become that person. He wants to show up as the best version of himself, and it's the same for the woman. Sometimes it's just the definition of who a wife, Mr. Right, should look like or behave like, or how a wife should show up. And
Mm,
then the person might search themselves and know that, well, I lack such characters, but I
mhm,
can pretend.
mm,
I can show myself to be someone that is patient, that
mm,
is loving, that can accommodate pressure and not be frustrated. But it's all pretense. And sometimes it can even be worse. You can be asked a question upfront. Do you do this? Do you believe in this? And then you just find yourself lying about it. I think sometimes it's just to make the person feel like I am the right person. Choose
mm,
me, choose me, choose me. And I might say that it may not be people's fault, because sometimes people are put under pressure. You must marry now by hook or by crook. And so people kind of sometimes will feel the pressure, to lie. However, there are some people that lying is their second language. They just would do it even, without reason. And so, yeah, there are a lot of reasons why people lie, but it's always is a wrong way to start off a relationship.
Because I'm thinking to myself, how long will the lie last? Especially if you want to do a relationship where, you are thinking of the future. It's not
Yeah.
just, the boy girl plaything kind of relationship. If you really, really want to build a future with someone, then how long will the lie last? How long would you tell a lie and tell a lie and tell a lie? Would
Yeah.
you rather come as you are?
Yeah.
The challenge in most cases is, oh, okay, yes, there's pressure. You want to be who you want to start pretending to be who you're not to this person. But pretense doesn't last.
Doesn't.
And by the
It
time you come into the marriage, the who you are, the real you, is gonna show up.
Yeah.
And what happens? What happens? So it becomes a serious issue. I have seen a situation where a guy borrowed a car, even borrowed someone's house, took the
My God.
girl there, and I'm like, and then by the time they are married, start telling lies and stories. Well, the car was stolen. Well, the car had accident. Well, that house. Well, then how do you even expect this person to trust you and remain in that relationship forever? I don't know what's wrong with my camera. I don't know whether I can still see my face. Looks like I'm still. But can
Yeah,
you?
it looks frozen to me. Yeah.
You can hear me, right?
But we can hear you clearly,
I'll
yes.
try to fix it. I'll try to fix it. So
Yeah.
that is the norm. I think even for all of the things we talked about last week, for me, this falsehood is the number one.
Yeah.
Number one is the major issue. If a foundation is built on lies, how can it even last?
It doesn't last. Yeah.
How can it last? So better to just tell yourself the truth. If I want to go the long haul with this person, then just be myself.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
yes, the tendency is to always think, if she's lying about this, what else is she lying about?
Yeah.
Yeah. If he's lying about this, what else is he lying about?
Yeah.
And that is where the issue of trust comes in the relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. And my husband will always say, once trust is broken, that's the end. Even if there's no love.
Absolutely. Exactly.
How do you go in a relationship without trust?
I feel like this is so crucial, and that is why sometimes you hear marriages have been dissolved after a few weeks, few months, or even has not survived the first year. Usually is all those falsehood and expectations that were built up based on a lie, and now in the confines of reality, marriage journey has begun. The real person has emerged, like you mentioned. Then the other person feels disappointed. The other person feels betrayed. The other person really feels like, I don't even know who I married,
Yeah.
So that is really a huge issue, I think, honestly.
And let me say this. It might sound funny, but I'm going to say it. Those of you who don't visit each other, we ladies, false hair, false nails, false face, false everything, false bum, false this, false that. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Oh yeah.
Remember that when you get home, you will wash that face.
Oh yes. The real skin will show.
Before the bro start looking for the person he married, that's when disappointment starts. Bro be like, is this Leah or is this Rachel?
Wow.
It might sound like a joke. Even you as a brother, what you cannot afford, don't claim you afford it. Don't start in a relationship spending money you don't have.
Yeah.
Then when you not get married, they expect her to come and manage. How?
Yeah.
How is it gonna happen? Please. That's even the no. Don't start a foundation on lies.
Yeah.
Will
Absolutely.
never stand. It will never stand. It will never stand.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take a short break and we'll come back to talking about the solutions. What is the solution? Maybe you're out there thinking, I already started on a faulty foundation. I've already made the mistake, but what can I do, to rescue my relationship? We'll come back and we'll talk about it. See you. And this is your time to subscribe. If you have not subscribed, please remember to click the notification bell. See ya. All right. Welcome back, everyone. So before we took off, we're talking about the solution to faulty foundations. Let's just hit it. What are some of the ways that people can help themselves? So, like we said, someone is thinking out there, maybe it's too late for me. I already started on a faulty note. I didn't know all these things, Love Crusader, before I started. What can I do to make things better? Let's help them.
All right. Absolutely. I think the first place to start is to be true to yourself. Be honest and tell yourself the truth that, okay, this, and this are the areas where I failed and it has to be fixed. I feel like self-awareness, like it was mentioned last week, would be the first place to start, to say, this is who I really am. These are my strengths and these are my weaknesses. And these are the things that I kind of falsified. And then the next thing to do would be to call attention of your spouse and ask for forgiveness, and inform them that, you know what, I have been posing or, kind of claiming to be this person. But honestly, this is not who I am. This is the truth. I'm honestly an impatient person. Sometimes I feel like exploding, or I am someone that I have some OCD kind of tendencies. Just be yourself, because I think if you are yourself, your spouse would find time, over time they would find it in their heart to forgive you, and then it will give the relationship an opportunity to fix the faulty foundation, and then both of you can now roll up your sleeves and rebuild your foundation. I would always refer to the Bible, because I believe in the Bible. You see that God, built a reset program for humanity a couple of times, even when in the beginning, and he said that the Holy Spirit was hovering over the thick darkness, it was reset. The earth was already there, but thick with darkness. That might be your faulty foundation, but there can be a reset. And then you see a reset with the Noah story. And ultimately a reset with the entire journey with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And then eventually with the Jesus redemption story is a complete reset. And so there is no marriage that is hopeless, regardless the faultiness and falsehood of how you started. You can have a reset, but it starts from you. Your willingness to be humble enough to apologize and own it. Now, the question is, if you are the one listening and the fault came from your spouse and not you, what do you do? That would be the time when you need to call your spouse's attention to say, you know what, I see that we're struggling in this area and that area, and we're really not growing. I listened to something some days ago and I learned that maybe our foundation is faulty. Do you think we want to fix it? Can you fix it with me? I hear that we can enjoy bliss and we're not enjoying it. Can you work with me? I think that might be a good place to start.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. You can even copy the link, watch this conversation with them, our conversation from last week and today. Say, let's watch this together. What do you think? And I like that you said it very clearly that it requires the two of you, the two people in a relationship to, work together to rebuild what has been broken, to rebuild that faulty foundation on which they started. There are people who got married because, one person got pregnant. Oh, I don't really like this person that much, or I was not even thinking of marrying the person, but now there's a child involved, let's just marry. It's also a faulty foundation. What we can do is talk about it. Number one, say, acknowledge. I totally agree with you. Acknowledge that this is a faulty foundation. We've not started this thing right. We've not done this thing right. Take responsibility. Each part, each person take responsibility for their part in the story, and then come together to say, how do we forge a way forward? Now, where I know is a lot of challenge is the fact that, you see, trust is very tricky in the sense that it's difficult to build, but so easy to break.
Yeah.
And it takes time. So if we say we are going to rebuild our foundation, maybe, for example, we started on the foundation of falsehood, I misrepresented myself, you misrepresented yourself. We also need to be patient. We are going to need to be patient ourselves to give time to build that trust. And within that time, we will sleep many times. We'll make mistakes. Because there are some times when we are tempted to come back. And I thought we said we're building trust. Why did you lie again yesterday? It is for us to understand that the fact that we're trying to build this now doesn't mean that now this person automatically becomes perfect.
Yeah.
You get it? We're going to be patient with ourselves and take the time to build trust, but it requires two people who are committed to repairing the foundation. Not one person always doing the work and the other person not doing it.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about counseling.
Yeah.
Maybe two of you are talking about it, you are not seeing eye to eye about the situation. How can counseling help?
Absolutely. Honestly, it was right on my mind that this journey has to involve someone that you both have to become accountable to. You will need help from a counselor or a therapist or someone you trust that has experience in rebuilding trust. Like you said, rebuilding trust is like building a house. There are certain components or materials that are needed to build up trust. And so you need someone that has experience in working with couples to rebuild back trust. So it doesn't matter whether what soiled your foundation is infidelity or lies or just selfishness, and whatever the situation is, it is possible to build back. And you need a third party. Now, this is someone that is neutral, someone that is not supporting any of you, someone that has a lot of experience, because I hear sometimes men would say, oh, well, the person is my wife's friend, or the person is supporting my wife. And so the man can easily walk out and say, I don't feel supported in this space. So you want your counselor or your accountability instructor or mentor to be someone that is working on a neutral ground. The person's objectivity is to help you rebuild. And you receive assignments from the person, and you go back and take this task seriously. If you're told to buy a book and read it and discuss the lessons learned, for instance, we're all busy, I know. You go, you buy the book, and you dump it on your bedside shelf or drawer, and time for next session comes, and you're like, oh, we've not read the book, So there has to be that commitment to whatever tasks you are giving, assignments you are giving, and you need to be committed to the journey of rebuilding back. Yeah.
I totally agree. Sometimes it's just necessary and important that we call in a third eye and a third party. And I like the way you what you call it, an accountability partner. That is so fantastic. I like that because you to an extent you don't want to disappoint that your accountability partner. You want them to see you as actually doing the work. And I mean, it's not about pretense. It's about the fact that yes, this is the work you want to you want to put work into it because your relationship matters to you, and you want to build, you want to rebuild, you want to be happy in it. The thing is that some people have said, oh well, let's just live like that. That's not how God created it. And it's not meant for you to stay and be managing, so to speak. It is for you to enjoy. God wants you to enjoy your relationship, to live the best life you can here on earth, with this person you have chosen as a partner. So whatever it is you can do, please work at it. Let's come and talk about the people who are not married yet. So you're not married yet, but you've seen these faulty foundations. You're already seeing that, okay, this person is a liar, this person is a cheat, this person is, giving you some of all these vibes that if you build permanency on it, it's going to be faulty. But you are thinking, where do I go and start again? We've been dating for years, or I love him. I just love him, or I just love her.
Yeah.
What do we say to those people?
Yeah, this is really a tricky one because when it comes to love, we lose our heads. And we just go, oh, I love the person. I don't see life without the person. I could literally die if I imagine life without the person. And that is exactly the same way you could literally die if you're stuck in a marriage full of lies with that person. So you just have to choose your poison.
Bam.
Honestly,
well
that's the truth. There is no way you will, see how other marriages are affected by such defaults, and then you just put your head in and be like, my case is different. I'm going by faith. Mine will be different. If they say it is insanity to keep doing the same thing again and again and expect a different result.
Yeah.
So if you have seen that people who went into relationships and saw this fault, eyes were open, you really saw it, and still you went ahead, and this is how they ended up in marriage, really struggling, then you have to take a step back. You have to slow down and tell yourself, hey, you know what? Marriage is not only about love, right? Marriage involves children in the future, and it involves the extended family, and it involves generations to come. And so do I want to start a journey that would affect more than myself, taking a decision based on falsehood?
Good question.
So, yeah, you have to just be real with yourself. And because you may not trust yourself, you're going to need help. You're going to need help. So this counseling and therapy is not just for the married couple. It's also for the single person that has realized that, you know what? I'm seeing red flags.
Yes.
I need help.
Yes.
Am I seeing right?
Yes.
Or is it just in my head? You're going to need help. Yeah.
Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. If you're in that relationship and someone has just said, you are loving red flags. How are you even loving the red flags? If you're already seeing red flags now, oh my goodness, you are blessed. You're favored. You are the lucky one. If these are things that you can work on, please start working on them now. If there are no things you can work on, brother, sister, don't manage it. Take off. I remember a young girl many, many years ago now, she was dating this brother that we all know, who both of them, that kind of brother in the church that everybody know the brother, everybody know the sister, and we feel like, oh, this is a good combination, they are good together in our eyes and everything. And then all of a sudden, sister broke up with the man. And we were all like, imagine, what does she mean? People were, So I called her aside, come, my darling. What's going on now? We were already saying, let's start picking colors.
Yeah.
And then suddenly now you are, and she said, I went to his shop, to to talk to him about something. He got angry and he slapped me. And I said, I am not even going to think about it. I'm not going to wait for an apology. If we're still dating and he made the mistake, according to him, when he was later begging her, he says a mistake. He made the mistake to slap me. He will kill me when I marry him.
So good.
So despite how good the relationship looked in the eyes,
Yeah,
and how everyone liked it, and how everyone thought it was the best, sister had the courage to take off. They are both married now, happily married. I don't know. God knows how they are all married to different people.
Yeah.
So maybe Bro finally found somebody who's compatible with his temper. The question here is, what can you take? And that is why we started last week talking about defining yourself.
Yeah.
What can you take? What can you not take? Who am I? What can I swallow? Because our resilience levels, they are different.
Absolutely.
If this is something you know you cannot live with, don't start now. Don't start now. Don't start now. How many times should I repeat that?
Don't start.
Don't expecting him to change, expecting her to change. No, don't start now. My goodness, someone has sent me an epistle. How am I going to read all of this? We can't talk about all the 30 minutes. Okay, but here are the key points. I'm going to pick out the key points. He said to rebuild trust in a marriage. One, acknowledge the problem. Open communication, be transparent, set clear boundaries, commit to consistent actions, focus on emotional intimacy, build a new foundation. I like that.
Yeah.
So the foundation may have been faulty. You can rebuild it.
Yeah.
You can build a new foundation. I remember one time we had a property that, was kind of in a waterlogged area, and the foundation was not made to be able to cover that water. So water was coming to the block, the building in itself. And at the point, I don't know how they did it. There was a way they did some fillings to fill the foundation. Someone told us then that we had to pull down the house, that we needed to pull down that property as a whole to be able to rebuild it up. But we were able to, by also some experienced people, they were able to do some sand filling and whatever filling. I'm not a technical person. I don't know the technical language that were used, But it was fixed. It was fixed. So we're not here saying it should all be thrown away. We're saying try and fix it, rebuild it, Oh my God, you're not kidding me. Say just small mistake. It will kill you by mistake. Unfortunately, that's what we are seeing today. A lot of people think, it's a mistake. It's just one slap. It's just because he shouted at you. Is that why you're behaving like that? All those are red flags. Yeah. They are red flags that must be dealt with while you are still dating and while you're still in a relationship, so that you can have a good foundation into the marriage. So rebuilding trust is like tending to a broken bridge. It takes time. I already said that to us. So we must be patient. It takes effort, care to make it strong again. However, with commitment from both partners, it's entirely possible to create a marriage that is even stronger than before.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I call him Otumba. Thank you, Otumba, for that long epistle that you have sent to me. I love it. I love it. Please read everything if you can. That's a fantastic piece that Otumba has just posted there for us. Lots of things to take away from it. So we are not saying here today that, the foundation is faulty and every faulty foundation cannot be fixed. But if you have worked on it, and this is the part that people don't like, but I'm going to say it. If you have worked on it and it's not working, even if it's a marriage, please leave. Yeah. Coach Haruna, even if you are
Yeah, because sometimes people think it's just physical abuse that, would be the reason to leave. But a lot of times people could be damaged emotionally and mentally. They could go into anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
They could begin to have suicidal tendencies as a result of frustrations from marriages. So faulty foundations can really rock the life of an individual. So it's not something to joke with.
Yes.
So when you say you have given the person several opportunities to fix it, you have sought for help, and you're not making any headway, and you know that this is affecting your health, the only way out is you need to live life. You need to be alive. Especially if there are children involved. You need to be alive to take care of your children, to support them, to live long and to thrive. So it's not like we're saying just give up. There are a lot of things that are built into such marriages or relationships that can be corrected. Please, I would just recommend you can read the story of Smith Wigglesworth and his wife. You know, it was a faulty foundation. She went to church. He did not. One of the days, he locked her out in the snow, very cold environment. And she slept by the door. And he opened the door and she fell by the door and stood up and said, "What do you want for breakfast?" But now this is a lady that was also praying and seeking for help. And eventually this guy turned around and, you know, broke down and was changed, you know, had a turnaround and became an even preacher and stronger than her, you know. So yes, there is hope for such marriages. However, if you put in your best and you seek for all the help you can seek for, but you're finding that there is damage to your emotional life or your physical well-being or threat to your life, it's time to check out.
Check out. That's the final word we're going to put in today as per rebuilding faulty foundations. We agree with you that, you know, it's buildable.
Yeah.
It's buildable, but it's not a one-man show. That's the first thing you need to understand. There has to be the agreement for both of you to say this is our problem. We have acknowledged it. This is how we're going to work on it. This is what we will do henceforth. This is how I'm going to help fill your tank henceforth. This is how I'm going to rebuild the church. This will be my part and this will be your part. So that we both play our part to make the relationship, like, you know, Otumba said, even stronger than it was at the beginning. It can happen. And I have seen it. God is a restorer of relationship. He's a rebuilder of walls. Okay, let me not go into sermon. I put down here, if you're a spiritual person, seek spiritual help. It does help. As much as I don't want this to be a preachy platform, we just must tell you the truth because it's what has worked for us. And I speak for myself and Coach Aruna, I know. You know, I'm speaking for her too. It does work, you know. Seek spiritual help if you need it. But after you have done all, you've done all, you must be able to convince yourself that you've done all that is possible to do to salvage that relationship. Don't lose yourself in it.
Yeah.
Don't say, "Oh, I made this mistake, so I'm going to die in it." No. You know, some people think because they have made that mistake, they've started on a faulty foundation. This is just going to be my life. This is it. This is how God is going to. No. It's not God's will for you to die in it. It's God's will for you to get up, to repair it, to work at it, to make it better. And if the other person is not giving you that same energy, maybe they are not even seeing the problem. They refuse to acknowledge that there's a problem. They are not working with you to rebuild it. Sweetheart, you can't do it alone. Check out. That's all I have to say on that. Any final words before we leave? It's beyond my 30 minutes. I'm going to try to discipline myself. I don't know how these 30 minutes will work for me.
No. God help us. Yeah, absolutely. Just to say, yes, there is hope. And you can transform your relationship. But the key word, like we've said, is it's a two-man journey. One person cannot be the only one willing to make the commitment and bring the work to the table. It has to be the two of you. If not, it may never work. Yeah.
Agreed. Okay, thank you everyone for joining the show. In every situation and in taking any decision, review the pros and cons, plus the impact on stakeholders, especially the children. This is a conversation now that Dr. Nkem is trying to bring that is going to make me now start going beyond my time, because many times people will tell you to stay for the children, but I always say leave for the children. So that's not a conversation that we're going to be able to have now. But yes, Coach Haruna said it earlier on that, you know, when you are making your decision, think about all the stakeholders. how do I want to make that decision that affects everyone? Because it's going to affect a lot of people. If you decide to live with the lies and the cheating and all of that without repairing it or doing anything about it, it's going to become a ripple effect on the children, on the family, on your extended family members, and even friends, you know, anyone you interact with. And if you say, okay, I want to leave, there will also be ripple effects. Think about the implication, you know, all around. But what's most important, don't lose yourself because of a mistake. Don't ever tell yourself that your life and everything is going to end on that mistake. It's fixable, it's rebuildable, it's repairable if both of you are willing to work on it. And there's nothing, you know, that's not repairable. But after you've done everything and it's not working, like Otumba said, if it's not working, it's not working. You might need to go away and start again with another person. It's not a sin. And then start on a proper foundation. You would have learned from your past mistake and then rebuild better with another person. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't die in it. I like that. Dr. Nkem said, don't choose to die in it. All right, everyone. I'm beyond my 30 minutes. I will see you again next week by the grace of God. You know what next week is. It's the first Sunday of the month. It's one of our favorite editions of Conversations with the Love Crusader, and that is the Love Seat. We're going to have a nice couple here coming to share with you their love story. Love is possible. Love is happening. Love can happen. And love can be sustained. I'll see you next week. Thank you, Coach Haruna, for your time. We love
Always
you,
a pleasure.
everyone, for your comments, you know, for engaging with us. Please share. That's the next best thing you can do. Share this podcast with your friends, your brothers, your sisters. You could be saving someone's relationship. See you next week. Thank you for watching today's video. We appreciate you. Kindly remember to subscribe and share so you can get notification every time we post new videos. Our promise is to ensure that you flourish in love, in life, and in your relationships. See you next week.